I want people to become part of the solution by becoming more informed. So, tell me about your sex crime.
Sex crime happened in 2003. It was incest. Happened on Thanksgiving at our residence.
Who was involved?
My wife, my ex-wife, me, and my son.
Oh, so how did that happen?
My wife came out of the bedroom really drunk with a negligee, asked if she could perform oral sex on my son, and I said yes. And that's what proceeded. And a lot of it was for me.
For your own sexual pleasure?
Yeah, she was trying to make me happy.
So, how did it all come to light with the authorities then?
And my son went to the sheriff's office and said that he had sex with his mom.
Okay, now that's the sort of thing that a lot of American families have no experience of. So how on earth did that happen in your family? Was your wife usually drinking? Was she an alcoholic?
She drank at least every other night,
and
to the capacity of passing out.
At least every other night to the point where she passed out?
Correct.
All right. So, and what about the sexual activity? Was stuff like that going on?
We had a very open relationship, marriage. She's had a lot of partners in her life, and so it just started snowballing. And I guess that was a low week. She couldn't find somebody else, and a lot of it was for my self-gratification because I wasn't happy in the relationship.
Okay, so you were getting something sexually pleasurable out of watching your wife have sex?
With other people, yes.
Okay. And
it wasn't him per se, it was just the person there.
Oh.
And he was 19 years old at the time.
Okay, so he was not a child, and he was of legal age, and then he reported it.
Correct.
Now, when he reported it, did he feel like he was the victim?
Oh, yes.
And do you understand why he might have felt like he was a victim?
I do now, yes.
What's your understanding nowadays?
Because the parents shouldn't be doing it to the children.
Yeah, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
You know, because they want to police.
And that kind of ruined the mommy and daddy protection role. And I think he felt betrayed.
So how did you become the sort of guy who would end up committing a crime like this?
God, I guess it would be just bad love life, bad friendships with her, starting out sharing my ex-wife with other people. And it just started up that way.
Was it exciting to you even from the very beginning?
Yeah, from the very beginning. It was really like, wow.
Now, do you understand why that's true?
Mm-mm.
Because some guys do get turned on with the idea that their wife or girlfriend might have sexual relations with someone else. And other men are so fearful of it that they're horrified. My experience has been that a lot of guys who are extremely lonely really long for a connection, and they perceive women as being so unattainable and so much better than they, that when she commits a sexual act, kind of like a reflection of what he would like to do, maybe have sex with another girlfriend, he feels like she's come down to his level.
Maybe that's what it was. Because I never had, I had one girlfriend in high school, but that was the only other relationship I had. Was in high school. Had no friends in high school. You know, I mean, in junior high, I had a friend in high school. That's how I met my ex-wife. But it's just, having her do things like that made me feel like I have something somebody else can't have.
Even though somebody else was having it.
Yeah, but it's like she's coming home with me. You know, you can have her for a second, but she belongs to me. You know, so it made me feel good.
Plus, now, I mean, if she's sexually active outside of the marriage in that way, did that also make you think, well, we have something we share? We have some common experiences we're sharing.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Because, you know, there are people who don't commit sex crimes, but who are still called swingers, who have sex outside of their marriage, and I think they do for very similar reasons. It helps them to feel like they're sharing sometimes.
Yeah.
In an intimate way. Okay, so from what I heard you say...
That and the alcohol she drank, it was kind of like a revenge.
Now, that part I don't get. Tell me about that.
Well, because when she gets drunk, she gets mad, upset, right? and then degrades me, so I degrade her.
Okay, so when she would get drunk, she would say terrible things to you.
Yeah, call me fat, tell me I'm no good for nobody else. I'm lucky to have her.
Okay.
You know,
very hurtful.
Very hurtful. You know, only reason why I married you is to get out of the house. You know, I can have anybody I want. You know, so okay. So we took it up a level. Kind of understand? I took it up a level, so it'd bring her back down to my level.
I do understand that. You know, I don't know if people watching this are going to understand, but you felt, instead of being equals with each other, you felt like you were one down.
Yeah.
And then by
having
degrading her,
other things.
Yeah, by degrading her sexually, you bring her down to this level with
Correct.
you. So now we're equals again, and we can be friends in a way.
Yeah.
All right.
So it was a lot of.
And that went on for about 19 years.
Yeah. 19 years and 7 kids later.
Now, without my being, I don't know, conveying some kind of moral disapproval, a lot of people would. They'd say, oh, well, that was adultery, or there was extracurricular sex, extramarital sex that was completely morally the wrong thing to do. But for you, it was working in terms of keeping you at the same level. And is that right?
Yes. That is right. Because every once in a while that we'll have a couple over, so I'll get his wife, you know, and he'll have my wife, but then when they left, I had my wife again. So yeah, having her at my level made me feel so much better.
But throughout all this time, where would you say your intimacy with her was? I mean, a lot of people use the word none.
None.
Okay. The reason I ask is so many people confuse sexual activity with intimacy.
Oh, no, we had no intimacy. None.
None.
None. I regretted going home. I regretted talking to her a lot.
You didn't look forward to getting home after work or anything like that?
No. I used to stay at work until late, drive up in the driveway, the kids out yelling that Mama's drunk or Mama's having a fit, and she's yelling out the window. No, that's not a life.
Okay, so
I went and gambled.
And how come gambling and not the library to read a book?
Because people are nice to you in the casinos. Would you want, do you want a drink? They talk to you and they treat you like a friend. So that's what got me off at the gambling. Everybody was nice to you. You sit next to somebody and they talk to you, and it was, I guess, the social skills, just talking to somebody that's actually a human and it's not screaming and yelling at you, or you guys aren't fighting, or thinking of the next thing you guys can do to each other.
So before the crime, we've got a lot of financial stress from gambling. We've got a lot of isolation and no intimacy in your marriage, and your career is in the toilet.
Yeah, it wasn't a career.
Yeah.
It was just
odd jobs here.
Odd jobs trying to make money. It was not a career. So
your self-esteem was?
Gutter. I had no self-esteem because nobody else would want me. So I'd have to stay there. That's the way I felt about it.
What was prison life like for you?
Actually, prison life for me, it was good for me.
You have love now in your life.
Mm-hmm. She's self-independent. She doesn't need me. She wants me. The older children, except for the victim, I can't talk to, but the other children I get along just fine with. Things are gotten a lot better for us since they know Dad's getting help and things are getting better.